Good morning, my fellow fire-breathing Americans, or anybody else who's outside of America and still believes in the right to self-government. It is a beautiful but dangerous thing. I was just thinking, around 2005, you're gonna love this speech, by the way. You're gonna love it because it's the most common damn sense thing you ever heard in your life. Around 2005, we had a revolutionary idea. That idea was to put body cams on police officers. Now this whole thing, it don't have nothing to do with police officers, but just listen, I'm going somewhere with it. Since then, the entire way that we have viewed law and order has changed, right? It's put some bad people in jail that wouldn't have been in jail otherwise, and it's gotten some good people off the hook that would have been wrongfully in jail without video evidence. Sounds like a good idea, right? So I'd like to propose something that would truly change the world. I propose that since Congress and politicians, members of Congress, think that it's such a good idea to have total video surveillance of society nowadays. All law, order, street surveillance, traffic surveillance, etc. Likewise, we should have body cams on all of our politicians. All congressmen, all senators serving every single day. Everywhere you go. Every meeting. Every moment in your office. It could be like NFL mic'd up. Who doesn't love NFL mic'd up? Not that I watch the NFL, but I like the mic'd up stuff anymore because you kind of get to hear what's going on in the field. You kind of get the real personalities behind what's actually going on out there. And we'll air it. We'll air these guys mic'd up, all these politicians on YouTube 24/7 and play all the highlights. Find a bunch of nerds to listen to all this stuff because I'm not going to listen to all this stuff. We'll find a bunch of nerds. They'll pick out the highlights. They'll put it out there for all of us to hear. All right? Pretty cool. Because look, guys, obviously, y'all up there in Washington, D.C., you're obviously not doing anything wrong, right? You're not sabotaging the country. You're not cutting illegal deals or using your power and connections, right? So since all our elected officials are angels with nothing to hide whatsoever, just like our cops and like our citizens, just like you and me, we want body cams on all of y'all with real good mics. You expect us to just accept the fact that these congressmen come into office with a net worth of, I don't know, 150 grand, with a salary of $170,000 to $200,000 a year, and 4 years later, you come out with $10 million? What good or service have you provided to the public to make that kind of money? And both sides are guilty of this garbage, y'all. It's not just Republicans, it ain't just Democrats, it's everybody with absolute corruptions. How are you cutting these kind of deals to get this kind of money? Well, you understand, buddy, these are private meetings and this is, private stuff that's going on. We can't just be disclosing all this kind of sensitive information. That's a public office that you're holding there. Right, Senator? I love a quote from the movie Shooter. Y'all saw it with Mark Wahlberg. He's standing there on top of the mountain. He says to the senator, "Whose side are you on anyway?" And the senator looks at Mark Wahlberg and he says, "Son, don't you understand? In Washington, D.C., there's no Democrats, there's no Republicans, there's just the haves and the have-nots. America likes to protect the elite, while the business of commoners, or peasants as they look at us like, that's supposed to be all transparent and out there for the whole world to see, and censored, and policed, and analyzed. While half of these people up there in D.C. are flying off to Epstein Island. I would love for Congress to be required to sit down and watch 24 hours of my buddy Jimbo, because he's a mechanic in my small town. He turns wrenches every day, takes his kids to school, and when he gets off of work, he's under the hood, changing oil, rebuilding carburetors. Talk about, he's talking about life in the break room with the other guys. Washing grease off of his hands at 5 o'clock, and he's racing to the ball fields to get to baseball practice to coach his 8-year-old kid. Get you some of that, DC. He's tired as hell. His body hurts, but he's investing in the future generation and making memories with his son. It would do y'all some damn good to watch 24 hours of the life of an honest man like Jimbo. So start representing real life America instead of your America. Put body cams on every single politician, and we'll see which one of us really needs the babysitter.